7:46. We're back here on Thursday's Breakfast Television. An important conversation surrounding bats, their importance to the local ecosystem. Joining us, Danielle Dagenet, the regional coordinator for the Metro Vancouver Squamish Area BC Community Bat Program. Your initial reaction, obviously this has made headlines with bats, a rabies-related fatality. Your reaction when you heard this news?
I was very, very sad for the young man and his family, and I was just shocked that this happened. The chances of this happening is very, very slim. There's only less than 1% of bats that actually carry rabies. And from my understanding, there's little contact, but with any contact of a bat, because they are a carrier of the rabies virus, it needs to be reported immediately to the public health authority.
You know, it's a serious situation, and these safety concerns are obviously very important. We've heard about the idea of wearing gloves, not touching it directly, but yes, cats are a big factor too with contact with bats.
Yes, this is probably one of the most reasons why people come in contact with bats is because of their cat. So the cat is the #1 predator in urban areas. They can hear the echolocation calls of bats, and so if you have a pond nearby or a great garden that attracts insects, your cat, if it's out prowling at night, it's going to attack these bats, and so they have a chance of getting rabies. So please vaccinate your cats if you have bats in your area. And if a cat brings a bat home, never ever touch it with your hands. You know, remove it from your cat using gloves, and call me right away, and call the public health authority veterinarian and talk to them about the situation.
The value of this bat program obviously amplified given this week and the events that have taken place, but there is a great value for bats to our local ecosystem. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so bats are very important wildlife species. We have 17 species in British Columbia, 10 in the Lower Mainland, and they're out there feeding at nighttime, and they're eating thousands of insects every night. And so they're eating insects that are also pests, and so they help our forests, they help our farmers by eating pests that are attacking their crops, they help our gardens, and they also eat mosquitoes. So very important. In the United States, the studies show that they save farmers billions of dollars in pesticide control.
So big difference they're making, and many people getting proactive with building their own bat houses. Tell us what goes into something like this.
So a bat house is something that you build to bring female bats to your property. They work great if you have to exclude them out of a home, and so the females will use it in the summertime to raise their young, and you can see the internal part. So it's 4 chambers. This is a typical bat house, and 50 bats can fit in each chamber, so this 200 bats can fit in here, and the females come to have their babies. And it's really important that they have somewhere to have their babies because they only have 1 a year, and their populations are going down because of a fungus in North America that is wiping out millions of bats, the white nose syndrome.
And as you create these houses, you've actually got the sound cue of, and there's a device on the phone that, that kind of goes through what it sounds like when they are feeding, when they are in the area.
Yeah, so this is a Echometer Touch, and you use it to...
Oh. So this is when the bats are happy.
So this is the bats feeding, and they're flying around and foraging, and they're using their echolocation calls. And so we can't hear it with our ears, but you can get this little device. It's called an Echometer Touch. It just plugs into an iPhone or an iPad, and then you can hear the bats in the area. So it helps you locate the bats because it's a lot harder to see them flying at night, and so you can hear them, and then you can kind of direct yourself where the noise is coming, and then you can see them feeding.
And it's just a general rule of thumb. They keep to themselves, so if you know that they're in the vicinity, just respect their space, and you can avoid the contact altogether.
Yeah, so it's we've been doing monitoring of roosts for many, many years, and you're standing outside the place where the bats are coming, and we're counting their population to monitor them for the onset of white nose syndrome coming to British Columbia. And during these counts, the bats are flying all around you, but they don't bump into you. They have very good sight with their eyes as well as their ears using their echolocation, and they'll keep to themselves.
Interesting. Well, many more resources are online, bcbats.ca. Danielle, appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll take a break. Your viral